Hello, welcome to Writers, Wine and Words of Wisdom. Now we're in a different location tonight because we've got this epic Brain Foundation posters that came through, so I wanted to have that in the background and show that off a little bit. Hey Emma, how are you? Saw your message too, Rockstar. And I've got, this is the wine. I don't know how much of it's wine anymore, if it's just sediment, but you know, rock on. You do what you can. It's okay, I'll buy some more. Hey Shani, how you going? So tonight's writing, wine and words of wisdom, I actually want to talk about getting back to basics. And I found that you might have noticed, anyone who's following me, particularly if you're on the hub or if you're on the profile, you might have noticed that I've been doing a lot of back to basics, like back to fundamentals in writing. So things like I posted about point of view, and I posted fiction versus non-fiction, like what's what. And today I posted one on tense. Tense can be a difficult one, and it's one that I've actually had a bit of with in the past. So let's not even talk about my first book. But getting back to basics is so important because I realized that there's so much of that. Hey Gus, there's so much of that, really the fundamental stuff that we don't necessarily grasp. Like we actually jump, it's like we jump up and we try to run. And I had this bit of a conversation with some of my writing group actually. So many of us jump up and start to run, but before you run, you have to learn to walk. And more than that, before you walk, you have to learn to stand up. And more than that, before you learn to stand up, usually you learn how to crawl. Before that, you learn how to roll over, you learn how to sit up. It's a whole thing. There's not a starting point where you can just get up and take off. Like, can you imagine a baby being born straight out and just running? Like, that'd be creepy. And I'm pretty sure there's a movie like that, which I love because it's horror. But beside the point. Hey, Robin, how are you, beautiful woman? I had to bring horror in, didn't I? So, but the point is, you got to start with the fundamentals. You have to start with the basics, particularly because I've gotten really clear lately, really clear about who I work with, who I want to work with, who I need to work with, and who needs me. So I've talked about it before. I'm not a marketer. I'm not here to help people write one book and, you know, sell that one book and have just one lead magnet and that be the end of it. That's not what I'm here for. Hey, Christy, I was waiting. I knew you'd be on. Look at this sediment. So it was actually Christy and I were talking about this. Christy, I was just sharing with everyone how we were talking about before you run, you have to learn to walk. Before you learn to walk, you have to learn how to crawl. Before you learn how to crawl, you'll learn to roll over and blah, 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 blah. And so many people just like get up and think they can just run for it. So I'm not a marketer. I'm not interested in the one book wonder. I'm not interested in just pushing out something as a product. Not what I'm about. I'm a writer and I help develop writers. So I Am Academy has now become, for anyone that's not aware of this, I Am Academy has now morphed into a very specific niche. We are the writing academy for authentic authors. Now that includes fiction, that includes non-fiction. Writing for your business, I specialize in that because I know so many people that are in business and want to write their first book. But here's the thing, the people that I know in business aren't in it just for money in the business. They're there to share a message, and that's where I come in, and that's where my genius zone can like really pop. Hey, Robin. So when it comes to the fundamentals, and I'm glad that I've been waiting. I've been hoping a couple of coaches would jump on here because I've got some really important stuff to share for you coaches in particular. I'm being very strategic when I bring this in. So we really have to start at the fundamentals with anything. It's like learning to drive, and I know I've used this metaphor before, but if you really look at learning to drive, you don't jump in the car and take off. You first of all, you have someone with you, like I'm not getting into the whole mental thing, but you learn, you read the book and the guide and you go and do a test, and you've got to pass that test and with a certain number of right answers before you can get your L's. And I've done that part, so I know. And then apparently you go for a test for your P's. I don't know about that part. Never got there. I'll get there one day. Oh, God. Anyway, that's my thing. But it starts at a point, and it doesn't even start at the point of going for the test. It starts with you get the book. Before that, it's knowing that you've got that option. Like, there's that word again, option. Yeah, I'm all about options. You guys know that. So, all right, let's get into this little reference that I want to drop in there in regard to coaching, because here's what I find with a lot of coaches, and I trust that you'll see how this relates to writing, yeah, is a lot of coaches and a lot of writers, okay, are gathering information, trying to be great, trying to be perfect, trying to be the best. The problem is they're jumping in and they're running, and they need to slow down, right? Slow down and learn the fundamentals, because here's the magic. Here's the magic. And this is something I've learned this week, guys. Through doing this, I've learned it. And there's some magic there. The magic is that the magic is in the fundamentals. So with me sharing, hey Karen, with me sharing the fundamentals of writing, I've been getting so much more engagement, so much more feedback, so many people going, this is awesome, thank you so much. Instead of giving a higher chunk level where I'm only capturing certain people, by bringing it back down to the basics, I'm able to see, okay, so who's really willing to put in the work? Who's really willing to learn and gather the speed instead of just taking off? And this is what happens with coaches. They go in there, and I did this, I'm speaking from experience. We go in there and we gather all the knowledge, and it's like, oh, okay, so I need to do this many coaching hours, I need to learn this model, and I need to practice, and da da da. Here's the thing, for you coaches, the moment you step into the room, you have more knowledge than most of the world. You know what model has been the most impactful for me with sharing it with other people? Map is not the territory. And for anyone who's not a coach on here, like, rock with me. I'm coming back. But I really, really, really need this to be heard by coaches out there. You know so much already. Stop gathering. Like, seriously, map is not the territory blows minds. It is just like, boom, whoa. And for us, because we go through the training and we practice it, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of obvious, but we forget, and this is, I'm talking about everyone in their own journey zones, we forget that the rest of the world doesn't know, and it's magic. And if we actually go too far down the track, if we go too far ahead and we don't cover the fundamentals, if we start over here, our client can't actually follow us, because we've gone too high chunk already. Start with the fundamentals. Like, we've got so much gold in that. Basics, keep it simple, exactly. And that's why this is called Keep It Simple Superstar. Now, I'm sure you've heard Keep It Simple Stupid. I'm not going to use that. I'm sure you've heard Keep It Simple Sweetie. Keep It Simple Superstar, I think, is a little bit more empowering. That's why I use that. Isn't it about connection? Oh, yeah, absolutely, Karen. Definitely. Everything's about connection. Everything comes back to connection. Connection is one of the 6 core needs. Everything needs to have connection. You need to connect to the fundamentals and share that. So if you have the fundamentals, if you have all of this knowledge, right, and you go into a coaching session with someone who, if you go into a coaching session with a coach, you're sweet, because they're already there. But if you go into a coaching session with someone new, what I'm saying is you could share map is not the territory and blow their mind, blow them away, have a transformational effect. I've seen it, I've done it 100% from the fundamentals. You cannot run, you cannot take off until you've got the fundamentals. And I bring this up, or I should say I kind of have been going over this, because in my program, I've made that mistake. I've wondered why this, why that, and I've realized it's because I was going too high chunk too quick, and I wasn't covering the fundamentals. So now we've come back, we're doing that. The program now, it's been adjusted, it's been changed, it's going to be introduced on Saturday, and now there's a lot more fundamentals in there. Okay, it's we start with the basics so we can build you up instead of just going, okay, these are the steps to do them. We give you the fundamentals first, and it's so important. And this is all the things that I've been sharing through Pencil Tip. So Pencil Tip is all your fundamentals. They're gold. They're epic. They're so good. Going to say stupid, but don't like that word. Yeah, exactly. Same thing, Robin. Same. Love it. Now, because I did mention Saturday, I know a couple of you are already coming. I know Karen's booked in. I know Christy's going to be there. I'm not too sure who else is on, but I know a few of you guys are going to be there. It's going to be absolutely epic. On that day, it's a whole day, and I'm going to be giving you gold. And I want you to know something. I want you to get that you're going to get actions. You're going to get knowledge. What you do with it is up to you. Okay, I'm going to be giving you fundamentals. I'm going to be giving you baseline stuff that you can build from, but it's up to you to build from it. Okay, I'm going to let you know how you can do that, obviously, but it's up to you how you action that. I'm going to dance with you. I wasn't planning on dancing, but okay, we'll see what happens. Oh, I love it. So I wanted to share with you too in regard to Saturday for those that haven't booked in yet, because I know there's a few people on here that are in Melbourne. Maybe you're not aware of it or haven't had a chance to. The link is actually in the hold on that way. The link is up the top there. Go in there and grab yourself a ticket. The three things. Now, this is something I haven't really shared yet, so I'm really kind of excited to give you guys a bit of clarity around what you're going to walk out with. Okay, because you're going to walk out with I've got three essential outcomes that you're going to leave the room with. One is a bit more clarity and certainty around your message and around your mission. So really a bit more clarity and certainty around what you're doing in your business. Because I don't know about you guys, but for me, I had so much lack of focus for such a long time. And it wasn't until I tapped into my genius zone and obviously started working with Mentor that I really got clarity on that. So let's dig into that. Let's dig into your message. Let's dig into your mission and see if we can get a bit more clarity for you. The other thing is you're going to walk out with the 7-step structure. So anyone who's familiar with Right Now, you're familiar with the 7 steps, okay? Hey, Christy, how are you? You're familiar with the 7 steps, and I'm going to go through those 7 steps in a bit more depth in this event. So we're going to go through the 7 steps to write anything. We're talking a blog, we're talking a book. It's the same structure. It's the exact structure that I use to write my books and that all of my authors use to write their books. So we're going to go through those 7 steps, okay? I'm going to give you some questions, going to give you some stuff to think about. You're going to walk away with those 7 steps. So you literally have the 7 steps that you can follow to write anything. And then you're also going to walk out with 25 book or content ideas. Now I say book or content ideas because not everyone wants to write a book. Not everyone wants to write 25 books. But most people, particularly for those in business, which is, you know, pretty much everyone on here, you want to have content. So you want to be doing blogs or articles or perhaps even just Facebook post content. So we're actually going to do an exercise, and it's a really cool exercise that you can do over and over and over again. Some of you might have already done it, where you will walk out and you will have literally 25 topics, 25 titles that you can go away and write now. So let me just put it all together. You're going to walk away with 25 topics that you can write on right now. You're going to have the 7 steps of how to write anything, so how to write each of those 25 things, and you're going to have more clarity and certainty around your business and what you're doing, what your message is, that you can bring in to that writing. Pretty epic, yeah? So, love to catch one of your workshops. Busy Saturday. Ah, bummer, Robin. Next time. So if you know anyone else, though, if you know anyone that would be keen or that it would suit, please send them along. So during the whole day, I'll also be talking about the Right Now program, which I've mentioned before, the 90-day challenge in particular, how you can write a book in 90 days. Don't take everyone into that. It's very particular. Everyone that walks in the room is kind of pre-qualified, but we still need to have a conversation to make sure that we're a match. It's not for everyone, and I wouldn't want it to be. So yeah, so any questions around anything that we've covered? Because I actually wanted to purposely make this a bit of a short one, so I haven't gone into a great detail, but I think you get it, yeah? Get back to basics, get back to fundamentals. The fundamentals is where the game changes. It's where the game starts. So for anything that you want to learn, anything that you want to get good at, oh, what was the, Christy, can you remind me? I'm pretty sure it was you that posted it. There was a meme that I saw, and it was anything that the first step to doing anything good is to be really bad at it. And the first step beyond being bad at it is learning the fundamentals, because if you go from bad at it, no idea, to up here, and you don't have the fundamentals, you might be able to rock here for a little while, but how long do you think that you can stay up there without the foundation holding you up? It's like if you imagine a big building, right? Like 20-story building. The foundations need to be solid. If you're on the 20th floor and there's a problem and you're trying to, like, just say it was leaning a bit, and you're in there and you're stuffing wood in on the 19th floor to bring the 20th floor up, it's not going to work. You've got to go back to the foundations. You've got to go back to the fundamentals and build it up and lift it up from there to get your stability. Does that make sense? Can't do it from up there. Can't do it from over there. You can only do it from where you are. So love where you are. Be where you are. Love it. Rock on. Yeah, cool. Awesome. All right, let me try this and see if it's all sediment or if there's any wine. I think that's one of the advantages of not having expensive tastes in wine. Oh, goodness me. So I would love to see anyone who's available, who hasn't already booked your ticket. I'd love to see you on Saturday. Share it. We've only got 9 tickets left. Okay, it's going to be at the Bayview Hotel for anyone that hasn't seen the update. So you're back to Fox. Yeah, pretty much. Karen, one of my recommendations, if you haven't already, is to Ninja at Fox and actually refresh on it, because the gold in there, seriously, I don't need anything more than what I was taught in Fox to coach and coach well. Everything else is advancement. It's bonus. We are the most educated, most trained, most experienced coaches in the world because of what we get in that place. But the moment you walk into Fox, you already are. That's the cool thing about it. That is the really cool thing about it. I'm not saying ignore all the other stuff. I mean, it's gold, NLP, you know, your metadynamics, etc. It's freaking gold. It's magical. It makes changes. But anyone who's waiting to have all that information, this is what I'm really talking about. Anyone who's waiting to have all that information before they actually do anything, they're not really learning the fundamentals. Because I don't know if any of you have watched this. I'm sure some of you have. The strategy, and this is TCI as well, the learning strategy is to teach it. You don't just learn it, and sit on it. You learn it and teach it. And that goes with the fundamentals too. You learn it and teach it. So if you're waiting until you've learned all this so you can teach that, but you're not teaching this, you're not getting clear and secure and certain on the fundamentals yourself. And you're actually denying a lot of people there that need those. Some people can't. They're not ready for that. They just want the fundamentals. If that's your avatar and that's who you want to work with, rock on. But I definitely recommend taking yourself through. Learn the fundamentals by teaching them. It's rock solid. It's a strategy that can't fail. Basically, the strategy of starting up here, that's doomed for failure. Pretty much. So yeah, get back to basics with whatever you're doing. And this is not just coaching. This is not just writing. Get back to basics on everything. Us humans have this thing where we think we need to know so much, but the fact is, each of us knows so much more than most of the world. And what I mean by that is I know so much more about geology than probably all of you, most of you, if not all of you on this call. I know more about astronomy probably than most of you, if not all of you on this call. I know nothing about mechanics. I know most of you would know more about so many things, and I don't know what they are, but rock on, you know what they are. You know what you know, okay? So that's the thing, know what your strengths are and know that other people don't have those strengths. So if I came on and I started talking to you about S waves and P waves, you're like, what are you talking about? For most of you, some of you might know, but most of you would be like, what? Because I've missed the basics and I've gone straight up here. The basics would be, so when there's an earthquake, and then I start going into it, I trust that makes sense. The fundamentals are necessary. They're really necessary. Hey, Nick, how you going? Joined us just as I'm about to end up. So this has been awesome. I've really enjoyed this one because it's been kind of a nice, quick one. And yeah, get back to basics. So 2 things from tonight. Get back to basics and get in the room on Saturday. We're supporting the Brain Foundation, which I keep pointing the other way, but yeah. We're supporting the Brain Foundation. I have a pledge to raise $10,000 this year for them. And I really, really would love your support in making that happen. So if you're able to get in the room on Saturday, please, please, please support the Brain Foundation. They would appreciate it immensely, as would I. The link is up the top there. So grab your link. Hey, Nathan, how you going? Just finishing up. So grab the link, go over there, grab your ticket. I'll see you on Saturday. If I don't see you on Saturday, though, I'll see you on the next, Writers, Wine, and Words of Wisdom. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. Have a great one. Bye.